Good morning. Welcome back, fellow Hoops fans. This is another episode of The Last Shot NBA show here on Little Birdie TV. And as always, brought to you by our good friends over there at topsport.com.au. Now, Friday morning, BK Fridays.
What's going on, my brother? How you doing?
I'm doing good, my man. I'm doing good. What about you?
I can't complain, man. It's Friday. Let's get it.
It's Friday. Let's get it. We've got a lot to talk about. I know you're super happy about your man, Tyrese Maxey, over there in Philadelphia. We're going to get into that a little bit later. I'm going to let you cook on that because you are the foremost expert on Tyrese Maxey in Australia. So we're going to get into that a little bit later. But BK, we're going to start off with the Lakers, right? Because you texted me something the other day that I think it bears mentioning on the show. Like Gilligan, you're off the island. You're off Lakers Island. Finally, you've given up on them.
Hey, call the Coast Guard. Call search and rescue. Come get me. I give up. I held on for a pretty long time, right? Like this was a solid commitment. But what I saw from them the last week, I was like, this just isn't gonna work.
Yeah, it's listen, I've been telling you from the beginning of the season, this is actually one of the things I have been correct on. It's been a shit show over there.
I've been in denial.
You've been in denial. Look, it happens to the best of us, right? But Brian Windhorst actually mentioned something interesting on his podcast, a few days back that I want to chat to you a little bit about. He basically said that, or he suggested that the Lakers should trade away all of their big three, LeBron, Westbrook, and Anthony Davis. We've spoken a bit about this as well. And, we spoke about how if you keep all three, which they, unless they trade them, they find someone to trade them to, those contracts are going to hamstring the Lakers, moving forward. So is this probably the best option for the Lakers? Just blow it all up, get rid of everybody, and start from scratch again?
I don't think so, because what's the plan? What are we trading these guys for? Is there really other guys out there that are going to make you that much better than where you currently are? I mean, Anthony Davis is the guy that has the most value. I mean, despite his sort of checkered injury history, like I think teams around the league will be pretty interested if he's a guy that becomes available on the market. Russell Westbrook's contract obviously is a tough one. He's got that player option for $47 million next season. They're probably going to have to attach that 2027 or 2029 first round pick. This is how far in the future of picks we're having to go to move a contract like Russ. So I don't know. I unless there's really like a deal out there that's like, okay, we can have a window with LeBron that we're going to get these two players and have a really good run at it next season. I don't know if the complete blow up is the way to go. What do you think? You think it's time to just call quits on this?
They should have called quits a while ago, but the thing is, like you said, that Westbrook contract, he's not opting out of $47 million. I don't care what anyone tells me. Anthony Davis, only because of his age is the most desirable one out of those three there. I mean, if you're still looking for the best player out of those three, for me, it's still LeBron, right? And you'd love to have LeBron on your team, but LeBron's 37, 38. We keep talking about how he hasn't declined, but at some point it will. It could be next year, and he wants to play one season with his son, which is, another 3 seasons away, but he's going to decline. So that contract, whoever, you're not going to give up a ton to get LeBron at this stage in his career, right? Like, you're not giving up draft picks. You're not going to mortgage the future of your team to get this LeBron right now. Anthony Davis is the most desirable. He hasn't been healthy this year, so I don't know which team's giving up a ton for a guy that has kind of shown that he's not super consistent, in being on the court. But they've got to do something, BK, because they're a mess, and they've been a mess this whole season. I watched them the other day, and they look apathetic minus the A. They look pathetic out on the court. They look like they're disinterested. They look like they know this is a lost season. I fully expect actually LeBron to even shut it down very soon.
Well, I mean, they're still in the play-in race, which, I mean, that's where we're at with the Lakers here. So their chances of making the playoffs are still there, but they're closer to missing out altogether than they are of a guaranteed top spot. They're only 2 games above falling out of the play-in race. The teams below them are teams that have no interest in winning. I'm talking the Portland Trail Blazers, like the Pelicans, the Kings. These are the teams that are creeping up on the Lakers. So it's not great for them. I still think they will make the play-in. And then if you give me a 1-game situation, 2 games, I still back LeBron to find a way to get them into the postseason. But then what's the reward here? You get smacked by the Phoenix Suns again, or the Golden State Warriors.
That's basically it, BK. But you know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like you're kind of hanging on to that island there, mate. You just you called the Coast Guard, but you're hanging on a little bit.
Yeah, they haven't arrived yet. I'm still here. It's my blind faith in LeBron that's led me here.
Listen, I think LeBron's the best basketball player I've seen, in my lifetime, and I don't like going because I know what he's capable of, so I don't like going against him. But the rest of that roster is very, very... I don't think prime LeBron would be able to drag this team to the NBA Finals.
Yeah, you're probably right.
All right, BK. Actually, there's one thing I want to speak about as well. We want to give a quick shout out to Josh Giddey. I forgot to do it at the top of the show. Was named Western Conference Rookie of the Month for the 4th consecutive month. He's swept the Western Conference Rookie of the Month awards so far. Now he's obviously injured, BK. We don't know how long he's going to be out for. So he may not get that March 1, depending on how many games he misses. But what an achievement, BK.
Yeah, consistency. That's been the hallmark of Josh Giddey's rookie campaign, to sweep the conference. There's other talented rookies out there in the West. Jalen Green's had an up and down kind of rookie season, but the fact that he's been able to consistently play at this level, and then also kind of not hit that rookie wall as well. We saw him get better through the month of February when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was out as well. So salute to Josh Giddey. He's been a lot of fun to watch this season. Yeah,
shout out to Josh. Hopefully he's not out for too long, and hopefully he can come back and just, run the table, man. Win all of those Western Conference Rookie of the Month awards and, maybe put yourself into contention for Rookie of the Year. BK, moving on, we're going to talk a little bit about the Milwaukee Bucks. Drew Holiday hit a game winner yesterday that capped off I think it was a 21-6 run over the Miami Heat that sealed the game for them. They've now won 2 in a row. They've got a 1.5 game lead over the Cavs in 5th, BK. And there's a tweet that we're going to put up on screen right now, just to give you a little bit more context, around this game. The Heat could have been 5 up in the standings there, and held the tiebreaker over the Bucks. That win there closes the Bucks within 3 of the Heat, and ties the season series there. So that was a big, big win from the Milwaukee Bucks yesterday, BK. In your mind, how, look, for me, what I always say, there's no statement wins in the regular season, but there's big wins. And that was a big win yesterday.
Absolutely. The fact that they were able to close that gap and, tie up the tiebreaker as well, that could have some real implications down the road, because the logjam at the top of the Eastern Conference is tight. There's only a few games between some of these teams. We've seen the Sixers climb back up into into 3rd. The Bulls are still there. Miami's obviously still at the top of the show. So there's a lot of teams out there that'll be gunning for that number 1 spot. So this was a big win for the Milwaukee Bucks, who look like they're starting to get things together, just as we're sort of heading into that final 20 games of the regular season. Obviously Lopez still working his way back, but the big 3 is there, and they're hooping for Milwaukee.
Yeah, the big 3, they're 26-8, BK, in games that the big 3 has played. It's, when you look at it, you're like, they've only played 34 games together this season, and when they do play, they win games. The Bucks have been just 5-5 in their previous 10. I mean, last week we were asking, is the title challenge kind of like falling off a little bit? But, with that win, I just feel like going towards the playoffs now, they're going to start getting a little bit more momentum. These guys know how to win. Giannis knows what he has to do. Chris Middleton knows what he has to do. Drew Holiday as well. So, I think they're going to be very dangerous. Look, I'm sticking with them, BK. This is an island. I'm sticking with the Bucks to make it out of the East.
Hey, that's a much better island than mine. You're out in the Bahamas with that pick.
BK, I love it. We're going to talk about this until, I think LeBron actually said that until you stomp me out, I've got a chance, or something like that along those lines today. And I think we're going to stomp the hell out of this joke until there is no more stomping to do. All right, BK. Next guy we're going to talk about, this is it. You are the foremost expert in Australia on this guy, Tyrese Maxey. Philadelphia 76ers had another win yesterday. So they're 3 from 3 since James Harden, joined the team. They came back to beat the Knicks. Knicks cough up another lead. What else is news? Same old situation over there. Harden looks re-energized. Embiid is Embiid, but it's Maxey, BK. He's the one that seems to be benefiting most from Harden's arrival. I'm going to give the floor to you, my friend. Talk to us.
Hey, we thought Tobias Harris was the third piece on this team. Tyrese Maxey has taken this and run with it. Those first 3 games that he's played alongside Embiid and Harden, they're plus 61 in 68 minutes together. So they're just whooping teams when those 3 are out on the floor together, combining for 84.7 points a game between that big 3. That's what you want to see out of your 3 main guys. But it's the way that Maxey's been able to kind of change his game. We saw him being the de facto point guard when Ben Simmons was obviously not playing earlier this season. Now he's just slotted in at the 2 next to James Harden, and he's just out there scoring. Harden's controlling the ball. He's running the offense, and it's a combination of pull-up jumpers for Maxey, or just getting those nice passes from James Harden, who attracts so much defensive attention. Maxey's just shooting wide open shots, and he's nailing them.
There was actually a quote that I saw from post-game yesterday, which was pretty interesting. So Maxey just had 4 points in the first half yesterday, and then he said that Harden came up to him. He said, James came up to me and asked me if I was going to play today. And then Maxey ended up having 21 points in the final 24 minutes of the game. So he just needed that little bit of a kickstart, I guess, from Harden, who just came up to him and said, listen, buddy, what are you doing out there? But you said they're averaging, 84 points. Like, this is the new big 3 for Philadelphia, I think.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, I still like Tobias Harris. I think he can be a productive player on this team. But when you have that kind of dynamic combination in the backcourt, you have the speed of Maxey, who just gets the ball and goes. James Harden obviously is going to attract a double team, but also inversely, when Maxey has the ball in his hands and they use Harden as a screener as well, then you bring Joel Embiid into the pick and roll as well. Harden and Embiid are going to attract help every single time they have the ball. So it's who's going to capitalize on those open shots, because there will be an extra man there. And 9 times out of 10, it's been Tyrese Maxey to start this new era.
Look, man, it's a small sample size. I get it, but they look good, man, and they look dangerous. The playoffs are going to be fun. They're going to be.
The East is going to be no joke. Like the matchups are going to be. The first round is going to be crazy. I'm really looking forward to that. There's
some teams that are going to go home in the first round that probably don't deserve to go home in the first round, and it's just going to be much more enjoyable for us fans to watch. I mean, more so for you. You're an actual 76ers fan from back in the day too. So, you could be in for some good days coming up.
I'm hyped. I haven't felt like this since 01.
Wow, that's a long time ago. All right, BK. Last topic we're going to discuss here before we get to the game predictions. We could be seeing a James Wiseman return very soon. And also there was some news out of Denver that Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. Could be coming back very, very soon. My question to you, BK, is which one of these is a bigger return?
I think it's got to be the Nuggets, just because it completely shifts the ceiling for them. Because shout out to Jokic. He has kept this Nuggets team alive somehow. And by somehow, I mean playing probably one of the statistically best NBA seasons ever. So the fact that he's been able to keep them in the hunt in the West, now you maybe get Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray back in time for the postseason. The Nuggets will all of a sudden be thinking like, hey, we can actually make like a real run here.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, because they're known quantities, right? We know what Jamal Murray can do, and we know what Michael Porter Jr. can do. When we look at James Wiseman, he's only played, I think, 38, 39 games in his career, and we know what he can do in the sense of his potential, right? He's shown us glimpses. but Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. have got the runs on the board, and they really change the dynamic of that Denver Nuggets team. And like you said, they make them a much more dangerous opponent, I guess. And they could make, again, first round of the playoffs, they get the right matchup, they're moving on, because the only issue I see is sort of, getting those guys at such a late stage in the season, trying to sort of integrate them back in the lineup. Wiseman, I feel like when he comes back, it'll be more of a situational role. Like, I don't think he's going to be slotted in to the starting lineup and going to play 30 minutes a game or anything like that. They're going to sort of bring him back, play him in certain situations. It's definitely, for me, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. making the biggest impact. That's the biggest news that Denver could have possibly expected.
Having said that, though, James Wiseman, I think at this point, is not necessarily a luxury to add. They need a guy like James Wiseman. They've only got Kevon Looney at the 5. Draymond Green hasn't played since early January. And I think in the 4 games they lost just leading into the All-Star break, they were just getting beaten inside. Guys like Jokic, Whiteside, even Zubac was getting buckets. Like, they just didn't really have that presence inside. So you had a legit 7-footer. I know he's only young. He's coming back from injuries, but it just adds another dynamic to the Warriors. They get a lob threat on the offensive side of the floor. He can obviously shoot the 3-pointer, but I still think James Wiseman is going to be a really, really good player. But the expectation to kind of say, hey, 20-year-old kid, come and save us. Yeah, that's not really, I think, what the Warriors are thinking. I think it's more they're going to ease him back into things. But don't be surprised if he's out on the floor come playoff time, making a difference for the Warriors, because this is a good team, a very good team that just gets a little bit better here. I don't know if that's like enough to put them over the top, but it's definitely something.
Yeah, no, I don't think it puts them over the top, especially if they have to come up against a guy like DeAndre Ayton or, anyone else like that. But
Jokic isn't sweating that matchup.
No, he's definitely not sweating that matchup. All right, BK, we're going to take a look at some games, and then we are out of here. 7 games on the NBA slate tonight. We're going to start off with Chicago and Atlanta. The Bulls are $1.77 favorites here. The Hawks, $2.09. The line is at 2. The total is at 231.5 live on NBA League Pass. Has the Hawks season fizzled out? They're just 4-6 in their last 10. They can still make the play-in, but I don't know, BK. Chicago's lost 2 in a row. They need a dub here to close that gap on Miami at the top of the East, and I think they get it on the road.
Yeah, I guess the regular season was too boring for the Hawks. This is how things worked out for them. But I thought they were going to make a little bit more of a push in the second half of the season, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. I like the Bulls in this game. DeMar's coming off one of the hottest shooting months of NBA history, so I think they're going to keep it rolling.
Yeah, and I do want to mention that Trae Young is actually listed as day-to-day, so he may not even play today. Lou Will is probable, and John Collins is doubtful. I think that just, pretty much confirms the Bulls winning today. Next game we're going to take a look at here is Memphis and Boston. BK, this is actually probably my most fun game today, I think. I'm going to keep a keen eye on this one here because the Celtics have been absolutely tremendous since the new year ticked over. And obviously the Grizzlies are the Grizzlies. Celtics $1.69 favorites. Grizzlies $2.21. The line's at -2.5. Total at 223 flat. This one's live on ESPN. Boston 8-2 in their last 10, up to 6 in the East. Jaylen Brown out with the ankle injury today. And Memphis, coming off a 2-game winning streak as well. And Ja Morant, RIP Jakob Poeltl, because he ended that man's life the other day. So, look, this one's going to be super fun. It could go either way, even with the Brown injury, if you ask me. But you know what? I think Memphis go into Boston, and I think they come away with a close win, because even without Brown, I think Boston's going to be a tough matchup. But I think they go into Boston and come away with a close win.
I'm with you. I think this will be a really, really fun game. Boston has been hooping at an extremely high level of late, especially defensively. But no Jaylen Brown really kind of turns the tide for me. And I'm not betting against Ja Morant after the week he's had.
But he has been absolutely phenomenal. All right, BK, next game we're going to take a look at here. It's the return of KD, the Miami Heat and Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets, $1.87 favorites. And I think it is because of KD coming back because they haven't been playing like favorites. Miami Heat, $1.95. The line's at -1.5. The total is at 222.5. Live on NBA League Pass BK. Brooklyn's been just 5-16 without Kevin Durant. Lost 2 in a row to Toronto. Got smacked in one. The other one was a little bit closer. They're just 3-7 in the last 10. They need a win today. But it's going to be the Kevin Durant show because there's no Kyrie because it's a home game. No Ben Simmons, who still could be out weeks, according to Sean Marks. Andre Drummond is day-to-day. You know what? It's going to be fun to watch KD come back. And after such a lengthy layoff, I don't know if he can carry the team on his – I mean, look, let me rephrase that. I know he can. He can carry the team. I just don't know if he's going to be able to do it tonight. I like Miami to come away with a close win again. I think this one's going to be tight.
Yeah, second night of a back-to-back as well for the Miami Heat after coming off that game against the Bucks. So they'll be a little deflated after losing that game. But something tells me KD's trying to come back and shut a few people up. If anyone's going to come back and do it, it's Kevin Durant. I'm a rock with KD in the Nets.
Yeah, he might be wanting to shut me up for saying that.
A lot of people talking crazy about the Nets and Kevin Durant. Like, this guy, he was the MVP for me until he got hurt. Like,
yeah,
through the first 3 months of the season, like, let's not get it twisted. He's, I think second or third in the league in scoring, putting up like 29 a game. Like, KD and 5 guys from Williamsburg, that'll do.
Yeah, okay. I don't know about that much, but
no, I'm talking crazy.
The Heat are a good away team too. They're 20-15 away from Miami, so they're always going to put up a fight. I'm sticking with my pick. Miami in a close one. Last game we're going to take a look at over here: Golden State and the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks are $1.79 favorites. The Warriors 206. Line at -1.5. Total at 220 even. Warriors haven't been playing as well lately. They've lost 2 in a row. Klay Thompson said he expects to play today. Damon Lee is out. Moses Moody is probable. Mavs have won 2 in a row. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They've been playing some pretty good hoop. Thank you, Luka Doncic. BK, who do you like?
I think I got to go with the Mavs again after what they did against the Warriors. The spirit they showed to come back in that game, and Luka was playing crazy right now. I'm gonna stick with the Mavs. They're too hot right now.
Yeah, Mavs at home for me too. For pretty much everything you just said. So BK, one NBL game we're going to quickly take a look at, and then we are out of here. We've got the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix and the Adelaide 36ers playing tonight. The Phoenix are $1.38 favorites. Adelaide $2.92. Lines at -5.5. 170 flat is the total there. And this one's live on ESPN. 36ers 5-9 on the season. Phoenix 10-5. My man Mitch Creek has been balling out, averaging 21 points a game. My man Joe Chi's been doing some big things for the Phoenix as well. I do like the Phoenix to go into Adelaide and win this one pretty comfortably.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I don't think the 36ers have too much of a chance against the Phoenix. The Phoenix are hot right now.
There you go. We both agree on that one there. BK, my man, enjoy your weekend. I know you got a couple of days off coming up here, so rest up. Maybe even get away from some basketball. I don't know what you do there on your time off. Try and get away from some basketball if you can. Enjoy your weekend, my man. We'll see you on Monday morning. This has been another episode of The Last Shot NBA show here on Little Birdie TV. We'll see you guys Monday morning.